Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining us for today's Zoom meeting. I'm Romilda da Silva. I'm Sales and Marketing Officer at Danforth College. As many of you guys already know, Danforth College has been in the market for over 12 years. We deliver the best quality of education for our students and try to get the best experience at Danforth College. And today, our masterclass we will consist it in following programs, which are civil construction design, presented by Abbas Haydous, telecommunications engineering. Can I just move the presentation? Telecommunications engineering presented by Dylan, travel and tourism management presented by Mark Vincent, and we also have two special guests, Amrit sorry, Amrit Jagota from International Migration Center and Gurpreet Dhawan from Asees Migration Australia. They are both migration agents who will explain better about the pathways of these programs. And also we will talk about some scholarships and the entry requirements for these programs. Now to get started, I would ask everyone to keep yourself muted. If you have any questions during our training, we will have time in the end of our presentation to answer all of your questions, guys. And you can just type on your Zoom control panel, and I will have a look when we end our presentation. Thank you. Now we're gonna get started. Civil construction design is Aidan Abbas Haydous. He is our trainer for civil construction design. Abbas has been in the industry for over 5 years. He has a background of bachelor and master science of civil engineering. He also has certificate for and training and assessment, and he is proficient in AutoCAD. Abbas, could you please hand over and explain to us a little bit more about our program, please?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this presentation. So actually, I'm gonna speak about civil construction design. So let's speak starting what is like about this course, what this course gonna have. So actually, civil construction course design is like for senior civil workers and for like professional designers who support civil engineers. But lots of civil engineers and architects from all over the world prefer to enroll this course that gives them understanding on what they will expect in the Australian market when it comes to civil. So what is civil construction on advanced diploma? So for the advanced diploma course, usually it's the highest level for vocational education and training. With this course, it will be a journey of 2 years so that we're gonna cover the main duties and activities for construction design seniors and make them gain the knowledge that helps them achieve their goals with the industry. So actually, we're gonna talk about what the areas that this course cover. So actually, we'll talk about 5 main areas, starting with managing program risk. This module will talk about the direct planning for program risk management, manage program risk, and assess the program risk management outcomes. At this level, we are expecting all the students to start understanding the risks that may face whenever it comes to the civil industry. As well as there is some Australian code. Every student who's like looking to start working in Australia, they have to be aware of it. Second area covered will be the advising on the application of safe design principles to control work health safety risk. At this level as well, so we talk about advising on work health safety requirement of the design process, advise on the development of systematic work health safety hazard identification and work health safety risk assessment system for safe design. Actually, as all the industry in Australia, definitely safety is one of the major component of the field, because like whenever you are working in civil industry, definitely the risk at some sites will be high. So we are expecting all the students who's looking to get this knowledge, or like try to be on the civil market in Australia, to just being aware of the safety requirement, because as we are proud to be like one of the safest sites in the world for when it comes to civil engineering. Other area covered will be leading and managing team effectiveness. So actually here we are talk more about the management part of the civil engineering. So actually whenever it comes to management, definitely the civil work, part of it is technical, but the other part is will be management. At this time, we are gonna introduce all the students what they are expecting in the civil industry when it comes to management part of the work. So we will talk about how they are managing the contracts, how they are managing the cost, how to speak with the stakeholders, what kind of meeting they can have, and everything that comes with the relation with all the sponsors and stakeholders as well. Let's talk now about managing the civil work design process. And this is one of the main course of the main module during this course. At this, like during this course or during this module, we will talk about what civil engineering are covering, what actually the field that you may be actually exposed to when it comes to civil engineering. We'll talk about structural, bridge engineering, transportation, environmental, waters, and sewage system engineering. So we are expecting after the students finishing this module, they will have an understanding about the field, especially whenever someone like is not coming from the background of a civil engineer or architect. So actually they need this basics knowledge at somehow to just keep it on what they're gonna expect in the field and what actually area they can work on later. Because some people believe that civil engineering is only coming with structural or with building or with bridge, but definitely it's not the case, because as a civil construction design, you can still be working on the construction on the road, which is gonna be transportation. You're gonna be working on the construction maybe like in the water or in the offshore, would be like kind of like water engineering. So actually it's covering the area that what actually you can, what field you can be in later in the future. Establishing and maintaining quality system. So actually, for working in civil, any kind of, whenever you deliver a project, we have to actually do the quality control, and we have to establish the quality and meet all the requirement of the clients. But definitely, this actually is not a piece of cake, because it comes as a process in a very systematic way and reviews. Because when it comes to finalize a project, there's a process we have to follow to finalize any project or any work we are doing. Let's talk now about the course delivery methods and material. So actually, uh, when we start together, we have to actually be aware that this course is a mix of management and technical design units that actually make the students deal with a real workplace and make them ready to step into the market with a full of confidence and knowledge based on their achievement during this course. So whenever you start this course, you will expect interaction and brainstorming session. So they will try actually to assess, we are gonna try to assess the students' knowledge and experience in the field first to understand each student's background. And then we're gonna work with the students to just enhance their experience and make them link all the knowledge they have with the new knowledge they may achieve in the future. So actually, each each module will have a knowledge assessment, which is kind of exam, and will have a task. But the difference here that our task usually is a real case study. Means whenever we are expecting the student to just starting the task, I'm actually gonna tell them exactly that you need to face this task or to just work with this task as a real report. So you have to follow all the systematic format of the report itself. So actually, at this time, I'm gonna expect the students, whenever they finish this kind of task, to be actually delivering a professional report as they gonna do later in the workplace. So the software be used will be mainly we focus on AutoCAD, and definitely we'll have like a package for Microsoft Office as well, and same as AutoCAD license for the student, and will be like for a full year. So let's now talk why Danford College for Civil Construction. So actually, whenever you decide to start your journey at Danford as an advanced diploma civil construction design, you have to be sure that you are going to be in safe hands. Why? Because the way we are working with our students is very systematic and professional. We are looking at each student as a very valuable member of our college. So as we always follow the progress, we work with them as well to enhance their skills when it comes to communication and teamwork. We are glad with the progress of our students and making them actually we are gonna see them making do the achievement and actually go after their goal in the future in the market. Thank you for that. And now we're gonna actually go for telecommunication.
Thank you so much, Abbas. It was well appreciated. Just remind to everyone, if you have any question, just please type into the question box in your Zoom control panel, and we will have the questions answered in the end of our session. So now we are going for our next speaker, who is Dylan Sanasy. Dylan has been working at Danford College for 3 years already, and he is specialized in IT, information technology, network, and telecommunications as well. He will talk about our telecommunications engineering program. Dylan, please.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Dylan, and I will be talking about telecommunication engineering courses at Danford College. Just checking, can everyone hear me properly? Right?
Yes, we can.
All right, perfect. All right, so first of all, I just want to give an introduction to the course itself, and I just want to talk about briefly what is telecommunication engineering and why is that important in the world. And telecommunication engineering, what it is an in-depth look at how telecommunication as a whole actually works. And why this is actually important to learn about is because right now what we are having at the Zoom meeting is a communication that is happening through the internet, is a communication that heavily relies on telecommunication engineers. Without them, this would not be possible right now. So the thing is, a lot of people understand how to use Zoom, how to use softwares and use the internet, but with telecommunication engineering and this course, we'll be looking at how that actually works in the background, except from just, okay, we're connected to a Wi-Fi, we're recording ourselves. We're going to look more into how does that signal actually happen? How does it actually work? And also more of in-depth information about, I guess, the technologies behind making this possible. So for example, I think maybe some of you might know about this, but signals are not actually what is seen. Like what we see right now, my camera is seeing me, this is actually translated to zeros and ones, which is then sent across the network to someone else. And then your computer translates that. But many people might not know that, and then that's why in this course we actually look into that and make those people understand what exactly that is, how it works. All right, so that was kind of an introduction there. The next thing we'll be looking at is the content of the course itself. So what do we learn in these courses? So there are two main categories of things that we'll be learning about. The first one is practical IT skills and knowledge. And more specifically here, what we'll be looking at is setting up networks, monitoring them, and troubleshooting them. So setting up networks here, I'm talking about, okay, we'll have a certain scenario. We'll be setting up a network according to some requirements. And the thing is, we will be doing this practically, so not just in theory where we'll think about how to do this. Now we'll actually set it up, configure it, as it should be in a real workplace. We'll also monitor them because it's important to monitor and see how the network is performing in case there are any improvements to be made. And once we actually monitor and find any issues, we'll improve the performance from there by troubleshooting and other methods, which we will learn about in this course. The next thing that we'll learn in terms of practical IT skills is setting up IT devices. So when I'm talking about IT devices here, there are a range of IT devices that we talk about. So for example, we talk about networking IT devices, like routers, switches, and so on, and servers. But except from that, we talk about more common IT devices and end user devices, like computers, laptops, etc. So we'll be learning how to set those up according to, again, business requirements. Now, the second part of this course, and I guess the second category of the content we'll learn in this course, is business knowledge. And I think this is very important in this course because actually a lot of IT projects rely heavily on business knowledge because in the end, all IT projects happen as part of a business. So it will be important that any student hoping to become an IT expert understand exactly how businesses work, what are the processes that happens in businesses, and also how to work as part of a team. And that's what we'll be looking at here in the business knowledge part. First of all, we'll be looking at things like feasibility studies, whether it's actually possible to do an IT project. We'll be looking at planning, which is, according to many IT experts, one of the common areas where IT projects fail, because it's important to actually plan ahead, look into what needs to be done, what are the requirements, and how we're going to meet those requirements. It's important to look into that because if we don't, the project is likely doomed to fail. And another part that we'll also be looking at is finance. So we'll be looking at budgeting, looking at how much money we need. We'll be planning that ahead, teaching to the students as well where they can find information about prices and all these things and stocks. So students will be looking at prices of the different devices, etc., and actually planning according to a budget that they might have. The second part of business knowledge here is working on projects and working as part of a team. So most IT projects actually happen as part of a team because any large-scale project needs to have more than one and probably several IT experts working together. And sometimes not only IT experts, but also experts from other fields as well. And they all have to come together as a team and make this project happen. And a lot of IT experts might have trouble with that. So that's why it's important that we actually teach about this part, because the students, when they do go to work, that's what they're going to work as part of a team. They need to understand that, and we will have activities and stuff like that, and assessments as well that relate to working as part of a team. We look at two different sides when we're looking at part of a team. We look at either as a leader and leadership, or we're looking also as just a part of a team and how to cooperate and contribute to the team as much as possible. So that was actually most of the content of the course there. Just a quick rundown about that. The next thing I want to talk about is methods and software to be used. So actually all of this content that we just talked about, how are we going to teach that and how are students going to understand that content? So first of all, we are going to use some softwares in this course. Obviously as an IT course, we will be using some software that actually will be used in the real life scenarios. The first type of software we'll be using is virtualization software and hypervisors. Now, these softwares, what we use them for, it's basically we have our own computer and we use that software to create a computer within our computer. And the main reason we do that is because we want students to actually be able to play around, understand how everything actually works, in a real computer. And when they actually play around with that, we don't want that to affect their actual computer as well. We want them to be able to do any tests and troubleshooting they want to do inside of that virtual machine, which is completely separate. Some of the softwares that come into mind here is things like VMware, VirtualBox, and several other hypervisors that can be used. We do look at all of them. The next type of software we use is network simulation softwares. So network simulation softwares are softwares that we can use to virtually simulate how a network would actually be set up and actually configure it. And the main software that we use here is called Cisco Packet Tracer, which is made by the company Cisco, which is one of the leading companies in telecommunication as a whole. So we will be using softwares made from them. And we will, except from those softwares though, we will also be handling real hardware as well. So physical hardware, like switches, routers, we have them in the campus and students will be able to use them as well. Because it's very important that they actually get to use it, because they can learn a lot of things in theory and in simulations, but unless they actually hold the device and touch it and see how it looks like, how it actually works, they're not going to understand everything. So that's why we do have the real hardware in the college as well that they will use. And another important thing about our method of teaching is when we're doing assignments, we usually use realistic industry context. So that is, usually we're going to give the students case studies of actual businesses and what are the IT problems they're having. And then from there, we'll do planning. We'll plan about, okay, what is the issue? What is the solution we can get for this issue? And then how we implement that issue. And then we will actually implement the solution for that as well. And I think that's very important, because if we just tell the students to just, okay, set up this network as per my criteria, they might not really understand why they are doing that. It's very important that they have that critical thinking. They can look at a case study and they can actually understand what needs to be done, no matter what the situation is or what the case study is. And that's why we actually give them those realistic industry contexts. Next slide.
Thank you so
Next
much,
slide.
Dylan.
Reveal the next slide.
Yep. Here you go.
All right. So the next little finalizing things I wanted to talk about is, first of all, about Danforth College itself, and in terms of IT, what we have that is going to be helpful to students. First of all, we do have personalized support from trainers. And I think this is very important in IT, because IT is one of those subjects that some students think, okay, either I will understand the subject or I won't understand the subject. But the truth is, everyone can understand IT. It's just the manner in which it is taught. Some students prefer to learn by just reading theory things. Some students prefer to learn by watching someone else do some practical thing. And some students like to learn by actually doing the practical things themselves. And based on that, we will see which students prefer which kind of methods, or which methods actually work better for them. And then we will actually give them that personalized support from the trainers. And that way, every student will be actually engaged in the course and they can learn in the way that they prefer. The next thing is there is also computer labs in Danforth College. I think you all know about the computer labs, but except from those computer labs that we have for general students, the IT students themselves also have a lab dedicated to the IT courses. So those labs have computers that are a bit more powerful, because sometimes our softwares require the computers to be more powerful. So those labs have all of those things set up there, and students can use them if they want to. And the last thing that Danforth College has as well, which will help for this course, is we do have the Office 365 suite, which comes with Microsoft Word and all of those. All students get access to that. So they will be able to make their reports in a professional format, which is expected from them actually in the assessments. And the last thing I want to talk about, I'll just briefly touch on this, is where they can go from here in terms of career. There is a full list of things that they can do and career pathways for this on the school website that I've put a link to there. But mainly here, we're looking at either telecommunication engineering, so as a telecommunications engineer, so that those will be people that actually go out and physically deal with the devices and fix them or set them up. Or we also look at network administrators that are going to set up networks and monitor them and troubleshoot them as time goes on. But the thing that I want to keep in mind, though, is that these careers pathways here are not necessarily final. From this course, student can go and specialize in different things as well. It's still a very, it's not that high of a level where this is the end of their career. They can go into further things from there as well. And that will be it for the telecommunication engineering part. Thank you, Romilda. I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Dylan. It was a great overview about telecommunications engineering program. Now we have our next speaker, who is Mark Vincent. He has a huge experience in the industry. He has been in the education and training program since 1993. He has also experience in some universities in China. He has worked in flight center corporates, and also he has now he's doing his MBA. Mark, could you please give to us an overview about travel tourism management?
Yes, thank you. We're unmuted. Yep, good.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Listening to that little introduction, it makes me sound like an old man, and perhaps I am an old man. So, yeah, thank you very much, Romilda. Let's have a look at the Travel and Tourism Advanced Diploma. This qualification effectively is designed for senior management in a travel and tourism kind of environment. Invariably, the agents will have access to a number of students in their domain who have got base level qualifications, perhaps in a specialised area of operations. Maybe they've got commercial cookery, maybe they've got some type of travel and tourism basic level qualification, and they might be very good at what they do. If they're very good in the kitchen, does that necessarily mean they'll be great at running the restaurant or running the hotel, running the resort, or taking bookings from an airline? Probably not. So in that context, the travel and tourism qualification offers that sort of thing to the students. So it brings on those managerial skills, the industry operations of how things work in an Australian context, and also the capacity to be able to coordinate those different elements. If I go through the actual list of the subjects and units that are in the course, I can pretty easily group them into three main areas for the main core skills that they develop. The first of those is in the marketing area. So in that context, we have things like the establish and conduct business relationships, sell tourism products and services, provide advice on international destinations, access and interpret product information, developing an e-marketing communications program, and so on. So all of that obviously is tied into the marketing units, the marketing role, I guess. The second area is the human resources and interaction. We have things like leading tour groups, managing employee relations, leading and managing people, monitoring work operations, and so on. So clearly those are in the working with other members of the team. And once again, we go back to, if someone is an absolute wizard in the kitchen, doesn't necessarily make them great at running the restaurant. And this is where these types of skills are built, developed, and finely tuned. Then the third area is in the generic business operations. We have things like interpreting financial information, managing finances within a budget, so they get the budgeting side of things, prepare and monitor budgets, source and use information on the tourism and travel industry. These sorts of things obviously are about the general context and environment of running a business. And these then are going to be skills that a student can then take from their core area of specialisation and then extend into a more mature understanding of the way that the business works in their particular industry. Okay, so we have, as we said, the managerial skills in specialised areas. We have the industry operations, the way that industry works in Australia in the context of their specialised area. And we also have the coordination of those different roles in their course. At advanced diploma level, travel and tourism managers operate with a fair degree of freedom or autonomy in the decision making. It also means that as senior managers, they need to be very much on top of and competent in each one of these types of areas. And that's where they develop up the skills in this. If we could, next one. Next slide.
Oops.
Hello.
Hello. Here we go.
There we go. There we go. This qualification reflects the roles of the senior managers. So we have things like, as we've said there, the business planning, the human resources, the marketing and marketing strategy, and the customer service strategy. So from my context and my background, working in particular with the corporate area of Flight Centre, they are all over the idea of specifically how to book travel. And the travel managers and other people in the organisation that are the clients for Flight Centre in the corporate area know very well how to book a flight. They know very well how to be able to manage their own personal luggage, to pack a bag and catch a plane. But do they know how to gather a group together, make sure that all of their bookings are correct, that if they've got a conference in a far remote location, that all of their presentation equipment is included in that, that they have adequate time to bump in and bump out of the reception or function centre, that their booking is not, that the booking of the hotel and the airline and the car hire is all integrated and coordinated for the right number of people that are on the tour, and is there easy access from the hotel to the function centre, and so on. All of that is a real challenge within itself and requires management capability. That's what they get with these courses. So in that context, it means that they're building specialist skills, not just base level operator skills. So if we start to look at some of the career areas where students finish up in, we have, and we go down the list, we go travel agent consultant within a retail agency, international travel consultant within a wholesale travel organisation, and that is the Flight Centre corporate that I was just talking about. Reservations consultant, we also have in there hotel managers, bookings and reservations consultants, car rental agencies, and so on. So in that way, we look not just at the kitchen, we look beyond the hotel to the broader area of the industry of travel and tourism. And that's, I think, what at a senior level, and that's, I think, what this particular qualification focuses on. Thank you very much. Back to you, Romilda.
Thank you so much, Mark. It was a great overview about our travel and tourism management program. Now we will welcome to our special guest speakers for today. Oh, sorry, before that, I'm gonna talk with you guys about our entry requirements. I should follow the agenda. So for all those programs, our entry requirement is at least IELTS 5.5 or upper intermediate level, and a student must complete Australian Year 12 or equivalent. And for all of these programs, 2 years duration course, at the moment we are offering scholarships. So if you want to know more about the scholarship and the availability, you can message us or contact in the Danfor email. Now we will welcome, and now we go to our special guests. They are both migration agents. First one will be Amrit Jagota from International Migration Center. He's an owned business. His company started in 2005, is located in Sydney. He has over 15 years worth of track record in helping thousands of clients for positive outcome towards visa applications to Australia, with their expertise and experience to help in that, with his knowledge to help the students and someone who want to apply for citizenship and get some advice about how to stay longer in Australia, and also get advice to undertake business and activities in Australia. Amrit?
Hello. Can everyone hear me? All right. Okay. So my name is Amrit. I'm just going to talk about how the course is about telecommunication, civil construction, travel and tourism, how actually they're going to result in different migration outcomes. And Romilda, if you can please bring up the slides.
Hi, Amrit. Just 1 second, please.
Sure.
While we are waiting, if you guys have any question, you can just type in the box chat, and we'll be answering the end of the presentation. While I figure out the Amrit presentation, I would like to introduce also Gurpreet Dhawan. She's a director of Asees Migration Australia. She's a migration law firm based in Dandenong. She has completed her graduate certificate in Australian migration law and practice from Victoria University. She's been practicing since 2018, and she's an independent RMA who has built good name over the past year, and she also is a specialist and help all of the students around the world. She will give to us the pathway about civil construction design, and Amrit will give us the pathway how the student can apply for telecommunications engineer, and both of them will speak about the outcome for travel and tourism management. Amrit, can you see the presentation?
No, I can't.
No, just a second. We already got some questions. All of them will be answered in the end of the presentation, okay?
Can the other viewers see the presentation?
Yes, I will share my screen. I'm just opening your presentation now. Yes. Yes. Yeah. All good, Marit?
I will just go back, please.
Yes.
First screen.
This one?
Yep, thank you. Welcome, everyone. So I'm actually Amrit Jagota, doing the migration consulting business since 2005. I'm joined by Gurpreet Dhawan. Gurpreet is operating from Melbourne, and Gurpreet will be assisting me with the presentation as well. So we just move on to the next screen, please.
Do you want to unmute Gurpreet now?
Yes. No. Next screen.
Next. Okay.
Next slide. Yep. There is a small disclaimer. We have done our best to actually research and gather the information the best possible we could. And it is current as at today. It's purely general in nature. So if anyone need to look at different scenarios in more details, please either contact us or maybe you should do your own research more thoroughly. right? So we just move on to the next screen.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, when it comes to migration outcome, the rules keep on changing, and presently, most of the common visa pathways for either general skilled migration or employer sponsored. So we normally categorize them in subclass 485, which is pretty much like a graduate visa offered to the applicants or students after finishing certain studies. As 189 is permanent independent visa, 190 permanent state sponsored visa. Then we have 491, which is either sponsored by a state or territory, or it can be sponsored by the family. But again, not all categories, all occupations can be done by the family. We have subclass 494, which is pretty much regional employer sponsored visa. Subclass 186, it is a permanent employer sponsored visa. And 482, it is basically the short-term work visa sponsored by the employers, and there are different occupations whether the employer is in the non-regional or regional area. We move to the next screen, please. One second. So basically, for any general skilled migration visas, the occupations, they must be included in the relevant occupation list. And a skill assessment is required if we want to go the general skilled migration pathway. There are different assessing authorities, and depending on the occupation, we may have to go to a different assessing authority to get it done. Screen, please. Yep. We will first look at the following courses from the Danford College: Advanced Diploma of Telecommunication Network Engineering and Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction Engineering. We will then discuss Advanced Diploma Travel and Tourism Management toward the end of the presentation. Advanced Diploma of Telecommunication Engineering. One of the possible occupation outcome after completing this study, telecommunications network planner, and there is a ENSCO code assigned to this particular occupation, 313213. And the assessing authority for this particular occupation is Engineers Australia. Similarly, for civil construction design, one of the possible outcome can be civil engineering draft person. And coincidentally, there are two separate assessing authorities which can assess this particular skills: Engineers Australia, or it can be Wet Assess. Now, Engineers Australia, they do have different assessing rules. Wet Assess, they do have different assessing rules, and we will explain them as we go through the next screens as well. With telecommunications network planner and civil engineering draft person, there are very many options for the student or applicant after completing this particular course. They pretty much can access all the skill migration related visa categories as well as the 482. So as I have actually mentioned them here, they can go for 485, which is the graduate visa, which is 1.5 years visa for applicants completing advanced diploma studies. They can even get an opportunity for 189 permanent, 190 permanent, 491 state sponsored, 491 family sponsored, 186, which is employer sponsored, 494 regional employer sponsored, 482 short-term work visa. So pretty much this covers everything. So these two occupations, they have a wider options. Next screen, please. So when we go to Engineers Australia for skills assessment, they normally categorize their occupations in the following groups: engineering manager, professional engineer, engineering technologist, and they also have a group called engineering associate. For engineering associate, the general requirement, the study requirements, what they pretty much look forward is that it is a 2 years Australian equivalent advanced diploma, or it can be an associate degree engineering following their 12 years of schooling or comparable education. Okay, with Engineers Australia, normally they have two separate categories how they do the skills assessment. One is normally called competency demonstration report pathway. The other is non-competency demonstration report. So if someone has done some accredited qualifications or qualification which is actually part of the certain acceptable accords, they do not have to write any competency demonstration report. So which means it's a very simple pathway moving forward. For engineering associates category, if someone has done advanced diploma of engineering program or associate degree engineering program from an Australian institute, they do not have to write the CDI reports. So this is where the telecommunication and the civil construction design courses come handy. Advanced diploma level, accepted by Engineers Australia, no CDI report writing. You do not have to do any extensive work experience like 1 year or longer for other assessing bodies. So it's pretty much a very smooth journey forward. Next screen, please. So there are some interesting facts. Telecommunication network planner or for civil engineering draft person, they come under the engineering associate category because it's a CRICOS registered course, advanced diploma engineering program offered by Danforth College. They are eligible for skills assessment under the Australian Engineering Qualifications Application Pathway. No CDI report required. And normally there is English required for skills assessment, but that is also pretty much waived. Usually Engineers Australia will ask for this English score, like if they have done the IELTS test, TOEFL or PTE, this is what they normally expect. However, if you have done an Australian undergraduate engineering qualification, or there is a 2 years master program or PhD, you are exempted. So basically, advanced diploma, telecommunication or civil construction design, it actually comes under completion of Australian undergraduate engineering qualification. So English is also not required for the assessment. So which means if they want to get their skills assessed to apply for any particular skilled migration visa, they just need the qualification, and even English is not required at this stage. So which means from skills assessment point of view, this will be the simplest, most pathway, I would assume. Next screen, please. However, they will definitely need to satisfy the English language requirements separately as required for the chosen visa category. So if they need to apply for a visa, that's a different issue, but for skills assessment, they are fine. Next screen, please. Back. Yep. Gurpreet, will you please like to take over? Gurpreet? Hello, Ramilda, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this
Hi,
is
everyone.
Hello, Gurpreet.
Thank you, Amrit. Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Sorry, Gurpreet. Do you have any other login using your name, because it's echo?
Sorry.
Yeah, we are listening a echo. Maybe just use the phone. Can you use the phone, please? Or I think you have two different logins.
Yes, because I couldn't hear from the PC. 1 second.
Can you log out of one of those, please? Because the echo it's a bit loud and we can't hear you properly. Sorry. Perfect.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, now it's better.
So,
Can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Myself, Gurpreet Dhawan. I am registered migration agent. I'm the director of Asees Migration Australia, operating from Dandenong in Melbourne. Today, we will talk about course named as Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction and Design. There are very important facts with this course. As Amrit ji have already discussed about that these two courses, especially Advanced Diploma of Telecommunication and Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction, lead to a wider range of visa options like 485, 189, 190, subclass 491 state sponsored, subclass 491 family sponsored, subclass 494, 186 and 482. When we discuss about diploma, advanced diploma of civil construction, let me get it out. Yes, there is a very important fact about this course, that this course can get assessed by two different assessing authorities. One is Engineers Australia and the second is Asees. Amrit ji have already discussed the criteria for the Engineers Australia for Telecommunication Engineering. Melida, can you please go back on screen 9? One, yes, please. So it is exactly the same how it is for telecommunication, that you don't need to write the CDR reports as for for engineering associate category. And as Amrit ji have already explained, that in this category, pretty much the English is also waived. And after completing the qualification, student can get the full skill assessment on the basis of just the Australian qualification. However, for the visa purpose, they have to satisfy the GSM English requirements separately. We are talking about only the skill assessment. Melida, can you please go forward on screen 16? Sorry. On screen 14.
14?
Yes. So that was the explanation about engineering Australia. How do they assess the advanced diploma of civil construction design? Let's discuss about the second body, which is Asees. They have their own criteria to assess this advanced diploma of civil construction. So they do the skill assess. They do two different type of skill assessment. One is the provisional skill assessment, which is required for the subclass 485 and which can be done only on the basis of the relevant qualification. There is no requirement of any work experience at this stage. Employment will be required on the very next stage, but this skill assessment will be provisional. That can be used only for the 485 subclass. To be eligible for the full skill assessment, the applicant required the qualification, that is diploma level, plus 1 year of post-qualification employment in a highly relevant to the nominated occupation, at least 20 hours per week undertaken in last 5 years. So that is an additional requirement by Asees. Like a student must have 1 year post-qualification experience in the relevant field, at least 20 hours a week to get the full skill assessment. And one important factor, applicant may require to provide the longer post-qualification employment experience if the qualification is not highly relevant field. Next, please. Engineers Australia only offer the standard skill assessment outcome of the applicant. So in Engineers Australia, it will be the full skill assessment. There will be no provisional. Once the skill assessment application is approved by the Engineers Australia, it can be used for the any of the GSM visa purpose like 491, 189, 190, but depends upon what is the point requirement for that particular visa purpose. We are discussing only about the skill assessment. The main incentive for the interested student who undertake the recognized advanced diploma of engineering program, as explained in the previous slide, such as the advanced diploma of the civil construction design or advanced diploma of telecommunication network engineer, receive the full skill assessment from Engineers Australia. No extra employment experience is required. No CDR is required either. Next, please. Yes. So the occupation which is gonna be, it is gonna be the civil engineering draft person under the ANSCO of 312211. And for the telecommunication network planner, the ANSCO will be 31223213. However, there could be some more occupations which can be assessed, like, but these are the main occupation we are considering for these courses. So Amrit, hello.
Yes.
Amrit.
Okay, I'll take over. Yep. Thank you.
Yes. Would you like to discuss
now,
about advanced diploma of travel and tourism?
Sure, I'll take over. Okay, now advanced diploma of travel and tourism management. The possible occupations there can be more, but I'm just actually keeping them simple. Conference and events organizer, hotel motel manager, travel agency manager is another possibility. So basically for these occupations, the ANSCO dictionary requires that the applicants have completed associate degree, advanced diploma or diploma. These occupations are not eligible for subclass 485. However, applicants can use this study for credits towards bachelor degree, and they can later avail subclass 485 visa under the post-study work stream. For conference and events organizer, they have these 4 options. They can go for subclass 190 later on. 491 state sponsored is an option. 494 employer regional sponsored is an option. 482 short-term work visa is an option for these particular applicants. For hotel motel manager, again, they have these 4 options: subclass 190, which is state sponsored permanent visa; 491 state sponsored provisional visa, which obviously can later on lead to the new coming 191 visa after fulfilling certain requirements by the applicant. Subclass 494 employer sponsored regional visa, again, after meeting certain requirements, it can lead to 191. 482, which is the employer short-term visa, but this 482 may not eventually lead to the permanent visa for them. The next one, travel agency manager, they only have one option, 494, which is a regional employer sponsored visa. The next screen, please. Yep, all these occupations, they are all assessed by VET-assess. So for these particular visa categories which we spoke about, they will need full skills assessment, which means they require a qualification that is at diploma level or above in a highly relevant field, and at least 1 year of post-qualification employment, which is also highly relevant to the nominated occupation. It can be 20 hours a week or more. It should be undertaken in the last 5 years. With full skill assessment, it can then be used for the visa categories like 190, 491, or even employer-sponsored 494, 482 categories. If they do not have the highly relevant experience, then they might need longer post-qualification experience or even other highly relevant field of study as well. There are options. And that is about all in brief. If you have any questions, next screen, please, Romilda. Next screen. Yep. So any questions you can type or you can ask, we can try to answer, or maybe we can actually send them later on through the college. Otherwise, if no questions, we like to thank you for attending the information session. And we also hope you find it helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrit. We got few questions. Some of them is about the course, entry requirements, or which the course is for. But also we got some questions about the migration pathway as well. So I would like to ask you guys to stay with us to help to answer these questions
Sure.
as well. I'm gonna go through the questions that we got so far. Just 1 second. Thank you so much, Amrit. It was a great overview about the pathways that students can follow, because sometimes even for us, for travel and tourism management, it's a new pathway that we can present to our students as well.
My pleasure. Thank you.
No worries. So for migration pathway, we got a question. Do our migration constants leave it to the student decide which type of assessment they want to go for, or either vet assess or via AQ category?
For telecommunication and civil construction, so telecommunication engineers Australia only. So when there is only one assessing body, then you do not have any choice. You just have to go to that particular body and you have to follow their rules. If you have an option like with civil construction design, engineers Australia or vet assess, your choice, obviously you will normally go for the one that is the easiest pathway. So if someone has done advanced diploma civil construction design in Australia from a CRICOS registered body, my experience and my advice will be go with Engineers Australia. That's very simple. No other requirements are there.
Yes, that's great. Thank you for answering it. Now we got a question for our trainers, probably Dylan and Abbas. I will unmute yourself, guys.
I think she's not doing it. I think someone else is doing it.
Yes. So we got a question for telecommunications and civil construction design. I would like to know if those courses have a practice component or placement.
Sorry, what? Was it
If
for
there's a
civil
practical
construction?
component, yeah, if there's a
Oh,
placement.
yes, there will be practical assessment. Oh, yeah. Right. So yes, there will be assessments that are based on practical scenarios, and they will be doing practical things as well in the course.
This is for telecommunications and for civil construction design, Abbas?
So actually, it's gonna be the same. So definitely, we're gonna get some tasks, some real case study, and we're gonna like work on that and give good feedback about everything that's gonna be done with the student and make them be aware of what they're gonna face in the market later.
Yeah, I would say for practical in civil construction design would be more for AutoCAD. So basically, they shouldn't learn how to manage AutoCAD.
So actually, we will get a module to teach AutoCAD from zero until we get on. I'm not saying advanced level. It will be like more or less to make them like competent with the software. So like definitely like any other softwares, we're gonna give the basics. We're gonna have a project for it, but we're gonna advise them later to just look over themselves as well, to practice at home, to just get the best outcome from it. Because definitely for any other software in engineering, you will have the basics, you will be like taught the basics, but you will not be professional until you practice yourself. So we're gonna give the basics, give the main knowledge that they will need to just like progress and like do their own project with us, and we're gonna help to give the feedback as well. But later definitely we're gonna teach them how they can follow, and definitely they have to work on themselves as well in the future.
Yeah, that's great. We got a new question for civil construction design as well. It's basically a little bit of what we spoke about. It's Chris. He will be our incoming student for civil construction design. So he would like to know if Civil 3D or Revit will be used or taught during the units aside from AutoCAD.
So like for now, the only unit we are gonna confirm at the moment is AutoCAD. This is coming with the course plan of the students. Other units, it may be given later. We cannot promise anything at the moment. We are doing like side work at the moment. So we may just have option later to just give them the option to like, not to give it as a main as a module itself, but it may be later as an optional course. But
Yeah.
we cannot promise anything at the moment.
Yeah, that's great. We got new question as well. Someone is asking, will the civil construction course be only for men or can be for women as well?
No,
How much is devoted to the field work?
no, definitely like for civil construction, like any other field, like always there's a there is a chance for women and men to step in as the same actually ability. We believe like some women could be better than men at this field as well. So it's like never come with gender. So it's only come with dedication and how much you have passion for the module itself. So definitely I have in my class at the moment, like I think the majorities are girls, which is great. I can see like maybe this could be like a very like old like cultural thoughts maybe from some like people, but like definitely not at the moment. Like we all have like even in the work to the market later, you will find like women and men sharing same offices, and like definitely like some women are being better than men.
Yes, that's great to know. Does the student have to have any background for civil construction course?
Like I can see they can actually have some knowledge about civil. We're gonna start with them from the beginning, but definitely some student whenever they come to our course, they already have some background. We have like for us, we're gonna assess definitely each students as a special case, but we're gonna just make sure like we're gonna give the material as it is, and we're gonna like not gonna actually if you have some student who's having background and someone else doesn't have background, definitely they will have the same knowledge as we are dealing with a new student. So we're gonna actually after all just give the module as it is. Knowledge is not really important in a degree level, but it's more like if you have knowledge in how civil works, what is like can civil do, and if you have passion, I can expect you have already done some research about it as well.
Yeah, that's true. Now one question for travel and tourism. Mark, Vincent, any work placements in your advanced diploma of travel and tourism course?
At this stage, no, but there is a high degree of practical element in them, and so the case studies and the workplace simulations are very much a part of the way that the course is structured. So at the moment, there's no practical placement because we've got to manage the way that they operate in the workplace. So at this stage, no, but there is the simulations and the workplace understanding, which all of the case studies are pretty much lifted from real life examples and real life context to provide that.
Thank you so much, Mark. This is all questions that we got so far.
I've got one.
Yeah.
It's actually a question for Gurpreet.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry, it's a question without notice to the Parliament, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot with this, but you may have noticed that that we brushed over the recognition of prior learning, or RPL, slide, because I realised that adding that and giving instruction on the way that that operates may only work for local students, and the RPL process may interfere with the way that that immigration and visa coverage operates for the international students. So my question to you, if a student is in fact doing a civil engineering draft person qualification, that's the ANSCO 312211, is a recognition of prior learning application, or RPL, in a course going to affect their visa eligibility?
In this context, I will like to bring Amrit Jagota ji in the picture, because he knows about RPL more than me.
Okay. See, basically, what we have come across, even for advanced diploma, telecommunication, or some other courses, if they have completed some previous study, like a diploma from some different education provider, even in Australia, and then they completed their advanced diploma, which means instead of doing 2 years for advanced diploma telecommunication, they just did 1 year, and they have been equally accepted by Engineers Australia, and they were also able to get through to their graduate work visa. So in the end, I think it may be case by case basis, but as far as the college has provided them the RPL on the basis of their previous satisfaction, and in the Engineers Australia case, the previous study was also undertaken in Australia, the one actually we came across. So I don't think I have fully answered your question.
No, you've actually handled it very well. I do appreciate, and once again, I apologize for putting you both on the spot.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Any other questions, please feel free.
Thank you so much, Amrit. I think we covered all the questions that we have. We got only one more. So it's a good knowledge of maths required for the civil engineering course.
Sorry, say that again.
Maths, mathematics.
They shouldn't need to know any. They shouldn't need to have any background or knowledge previously to get the civil construction design.
I think if you get a year 12 from the school, like from the high school, it's more than enough to just enroll the course.
Yeah, but they shouldn't actually. They don't deal with numbers. I think it's more for telecommunications engineer than civil construction design, isn't it?
It's actually the requirement is year 12, so actually we're gonna go with the requirement. Means like at some point, like if they have the requirement for year 12 with maths, so actually definitely they will have no problem to enroll the course.
Yes, thank you so much for answering that, Abbas. I think it's all for the questions. Does anyone have more questions here? You guys can feel free to unmute yourself and ask other question and speak about. No? So I think we covered all the questions and we can wrap up. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today and for being part of our Zoom meeting and our masterclass about our 3 new programs. Just a reminder that I saw some of you guys had a few questions about civil construction design. You can feel free to email us or call, and we just have a new intake date for February. So because the next intake date was too far, was in April, and now we gonna have a new one in February. So we hope to welcome your students to Melbourne and to Dunford College as well. And I think I forgot, someone asked if we are taking offshore applications for civil construction design. Yes, we are, but with few entry requirements. So if you want to know more, you can email us. And thank you, everybody. Stay safe and healthy. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 All right.
Mute.